In this week of 2012, I uploaded this video about drawing Pokemon from memory to my YouTube channel, and then vanished for 13 years. All my videos set to private, my channel went dark. Jump back to a few months earlier this year and I was sitting right there announcing my grand return to YouTube, more specifically vlogging. And while I've loved being back these past few months making new content, I've been thinking a lot about why I left 13 years ago, what drew me to come back in 2025, and what's different between then and now. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Neil Falatron. I make videos on YouTube about basically anything, and that's part of the existential crisis that I'm going to be talking about today. If my journey from 2012 and the distant past to today sounds like something you'd like to hear about, by all means, please stick around for the rest of the video. I would love to share my story with you. If that sounds of little to no interest to you, that is okay, because part of what I'm coming to terms with is that on YouTube in 2025, very few people care what I have to say, and that might have been true all along, both today and all the way back in 2012 and the distant past beyond that. So what was it that caused me to make my YouTube channel go dark all those years ago? Well, ultimately, if you look at some of those older videos, they were kind of silly, skittish vlogs. And that's something that I've definitely come to own about myself in the intervening decade. I am the sort of person who enjoys presenting silly, skittish vlogs, that sort of content, to the world. But back then, I was still very much finding myself. Most people didn't know that I had a YouTube channel, which is kind of a bit paradoxical in a sense that I was literally broadcasting myself like YouTube was telling me to do, but hoping that nobody that I knew ever found out. I had some number of subscribers who regularly tuned in. If you are one of those people, leave me a comment. As an OG subscriber, I'd love to hear from you. And if you are a new viewer, let me know too, because I genuinely want to connect with people who knew me back then and people who are meeting me today for the first time. Back then, I was in my early 20s, just starting to find my way in the world, and I was about to start a professional teaching job. And the thought of either my colleagues or my students somehow stumbling across my YouTube vlogs basically made my blood run cold. That sounds a bit dramatic, and it was, but it really caused me to question what I was doing on YouTube and whether I should continue to do it. And sadly, not just if I should continue to do it, but if I should erase all existence of it completely. And having come back today and resurrected my old YouTube channel, some of my other old social media accounts, I had people reach out over the years saying, hey, where are you? Messages from genuine strangers saying, hey, I enjoyed your videos, where did they go? Are you gonna make more? But at that time in my life, I did not have the, I guess, confidence to own my small measure of success on YouTube and how it came about and the kinds of things I was putting out there. Looking back, I really do regret the decision. So flash through the intervening years, if you want to know what happened in between. I've talked about it a little bit in some other recent videos. And we get to the start of this year. I brought a new baby home from the hospital. I was on paternity leave, and I was really thinking about what was giving me meaning and joy in my life. Certainly parenting a newborn is lots of things, including joy-giving and meaningful, but it also makes you sort of question every decision you've ever made in your life leading up to that point too. So that's where I ended up. And I realized I had this amazing hobby a decade ago, which was super creative, allowed me to put things out into the world that I felt good, positive vibes about, and I just totally abandoned it and pretended that it hadn't existed. I had told my now husband about it when we first met, but I had not let him see any of the videos. He has now gone back and seen some of those early videos, and that was a decision that I made that I feel good about, I promise. I'm now in my late 30s. I have a lot more of that confidence. I have the ability to hold space for this thing that I'm doing in my life and not feel like I have to make it small and be embarrassed about it. And it's honestly just been so much fun to be back here in front of this camera, talking at it, talking at you, seeing what happens. I realized ultimately that I'd kind of been vlogging at my husband, our whole relationship, because I didn't have this outlet. As amazing as my husband is, Love you, darling. There's only so much super specific niche topics one can be subjected to by your enthusiastic spouse before you start to wonder what's going on. So I think for him as well, when I started doing this again, something clicked in the best way. So now I'm making videos again and things feel pretty different than they did back in the day. Thumbnails in 2012 were kind of low stakes, as I recall. Certainly YouTube would generate something automatically, and that usually did the trick. Nowadays, it feels like very much make or break for your video getting shown to anyone, that you really need to nail the title, thumbnail, description combo to have the algorithm serve you up to anyone at all. It can be really demoralizing when you think of a topic that you're super enthusiastic about, you make the video, you make a great thumbnail and title, and you put it out into the world, and it gets 9 views. And I tell myself that that shouldn't matter. I'm not doing this to get hundreds of thousands of views on my videos, that's not what the goal is here. But I do want to build an audience of you guys that I can connect with and make content that resonates with you. And so when that video sits there with those 9 views, it feels like I'm failing. And that's not a great feeling, right? This was supposed to be a fun, creative hobby that I came back to, and nobody really likes to feel like they're failing. And so that leads me down the rabbit hole of, oh, how can I get my video shown to more people? How can I have better search engine optimization? That click-through rate needs to be a few percentage points higher. How can I be optimizing my title, my thumbnail, even the topics of my videos? Because what I've come to terms with is that I will make videos about basically anything. Since my return, let's see what I can rattle off. I have made videos on mental health, sleep masks, how to ace a job interview, lawnmowers, how to program your Roomba correctly, the Super Bowl, the American citizenship test. I'm trying to really not move as I pause so I can do seamless jump cuts, so you think I'm just rattling these off, but I think the jig is up. My point is, that is not a niche. Well, I mean it is. It's a very, very specific niche, and ultimately the niche is me. And unless you're my mum, I think it's not that realistic that YouTube is going to find a huge audience when the niche is me. So what do? What I have been trying to do is brainstorm ideas for videos that will resonate with a larger audience that I can make just a little bit clickbaity, but not too much, to get this face in front of more people. And there's the tension, right? I want that audience to connect with. And it feels like I can't get that audience unless I pander to YouTube and its almighty algorithm. So I got some very good advice from my best friend via her boyfriend. Hi, Adam. Basically just saying, in more colorful language, to not worry so much about the analytics of the algorithm, what YouTube Studio is serving me. And I had another video planned to make today that was not about this. It was a product review. I might still make it, but I was at least half making that product review video because I thought it might get picked up by the algorithm, by search features. I was still gonna have fun making it, I promise. Things are not so bad that I'm sort of crushing my soul for views, for clicks, but this video felt more important to make. Not for you guys, sorry, but for me, yeah. So, moving forward, I'm still gonna operate in the niche that is me. I'm ultimately a vlogger, and okay, most vloggers, surely they're their own niche to an extent. I'm making my peace with that, I hope you can too. If not, that's okay. As I said, accepting the humbling truth that nobody truly cares. If you're still watching right now, fantastic. Hi, Mum. This is me. So if you're still watching, that is great. Have a look at some of my more recent videos. They're of a vibe like this, even if the topic is a bit varied. Go and have a look at some of my older videos too. My husband survived the process, mostly. And they are definitely of their time. We didn't all have super ultra HD cameras walking around in our pockets. I had a flip cam that used AA batteries. But it gives you a window into what I was doing back then. Shyly, secretly, totally lacking in confidence, but loving what I was doing. But I will say they're definitely better in smaller doses. So I'll sign off for now. And I'll just say, hopefully see you again soon. And if this video gets 10 views or more, I will consider that a huge success. So yeah, thank you. Bye.